Welcome back to Old School Sports and our Tennis Manager 2021 playthrough. We are in the late stages of the 2024 season, the start of the indoor season. As that portion of the calendar begins, Stefan Kozlov, the top player in our academy, is ranked 46th in the world. His goal is to be in the top 50 at the end of the season. So hopefully we can rack up a couple tournament victories and perhaps a long run in a higher level event, and ensure that he finishes the year in the top 50 and maintains his relationship with the Old School Sports Tennis Academy. Zachary Spider, our new addition this year, his goal was just to get into the top 400 in the world. You can see he's 127th in the world right now. So our goal with Zachary is to play a few events here during indoor season, but mostly spend some time in the academy training, building up his skills, building up his strength, and hopefully positioning himself to take another big step forward in the 2025 season, since he has more than accomplished all of his goals for this year. And the first week of the indoor season has gone really well for Stefan Koslov so far. You can see the number one seed here at the 80 level Cary Open has had a straight sets run to the final, has not dropped a set yet. 6-0 winner against Edvardo Struve in the round of 32. Then he beat Vuk Budik 4-2 in the round of 16. Moved on to the quarterfinals where he beat Alex Bolt 5-4, and then most recently won in the semifinals against the eighth seed Marlon Vanken 2-1. So he will be going up against the 3 seed Evgeny Korlevisky in the finals here at the Cary Open. Would be nice to get the 80 points from an 80 level event victory here right to start off the indoor season. Would really help solidify that potential top 50 position at the end of the year in the world for Stefan. If he's able to win this event, it would be, a big step in the direction that we need to ensure that he stays in the top 50 in the world and achieves his goals for the season and sticks around to work with our academy for at least one more year. So we will be facing the 30-year-old Russian Evgeny Karlovsky. Stefan is stressed. Hey, you're playing in front of American fans right here against the Russian. People are going to be rooting for you, Stefan. So go out on the court, relax, and hopefully things will go well. As I mentioned at the start, Stefan is going to be playing in the qualifying for a couple of 1,000 level Masters events during this indoor season. Obviously, a long run in one of those tournaments would be huge in terms of him moving up in the rankings also. Been going back and forth here in the early stages of this first set. Finally just got a break. And Stefan with a 6-4 victory in the first set of the finals here. So hopefully can keep that momentum going. He's stressed out. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much. Would be really big for our goals for the year to get a victory here. And we are on serve midway through this second set. And just got a break and a 6-4, 6-4 victory for Stefan Koslov, an 80 level event. You may remember that he won a 125 level event in the grass court season and then a 90 level event in the summer hard court season. So an 80 level event is not quite the points that either of those would generate, but still a very important tournament victory for Stefan Koslov as we try to maintain a top 50 in the world ranking. So an excellent start to the final stretch of the 2024 season for Stefan here at the Cary Open in North Carolina. And we have an interesting match ahead of us here at the Orleans Open, where both Stefan and Zachary are playing this week. You can see kind of a rough result last week for both of them. Quarterfinalist at the Columbus Open for Stefan and a quarterfinalist at Cairns for Zachary Spider. But they are meeting in the round of 16 now at this 125 level event, Orleans Open. Stefan is the number 1 seed. Zach is the number 12 seed. So the two members training at the Old School Sports Tennis Academy will be facing off here in the Orleans Open. We will see if the Stefan, being the top player at the academy, is able to be maintained here in this match against Zach Spider. And they traded breaks early, so are still on serve here. But Zach just got a break again on Stefan to go up, and Zach Spider 6-3 victory in the first set against Stefan Kozlov. So we'll see if Stefan can come back here. There's more at stake for Stefan. At this point in the year, Zach has achieved all of his goals for the season, whereas, as we've talked about, Stefan still has work to do to maintain a top 50 in the world position. And he did bounce back, taking that second set 6-3. So we will be going to a third and decisive set here. Stefan and Zach, the two Old School Sports Tennis Academy trainees, going up against each other. And Zach is up a break here, or Stefan is up a break here in the third set, and he held on to win it. So Stefan Koslov, the number 1 seed in the tournament, shows that he is still also the number 1 player at the Old School Sports Tennis Academy with a 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 win over Zachary Spider here in the round of 16 at the 125 level Orleans Open. And a bit of a disappointing result for Stefan Kozlov after beating Zach in the round of 16. He lost in the quarterfinals. So the tournament at Orleans is finished for both players for this season. Well, we're in late October, and it's been a relatively uneventful and not incredibly productive last few weeks for both Stefan and Zach. Stefan lost in the round of 64 at the Shanghai Masters, and then a quarterfinal loss at the 125 level Ningbo Open. He's now going to be in qualifying for the Rolex Masters this week. Looking at Zach, as I talked about at the beginning of the episode, been spending most of his time training back at the academy, but he did have a loss in the round of 16 at the 80 level Las Vegas Open a week ago. So not a ton going on with either of the players. Hopefully they can, in the case of Zach particularly, get some time in at the academy over the next month or so to train before going on holiday at the end of the season. Stefan, obviously the goal is to maintain that top 50 ranking in the world, and he's 45th, so he moved up a little bit last week. Clearly, if he's able to get into the main draw at the Rolex Paris Masters and then win a match or two there, that would definitely put him over the hurdle that we need to get over to in terms of ensuring that we remain in the top 50 in the world. But obviously winning a couple of matches just to get into the main draw, and then a couple of matches against the best players in the world in a Masters level event is easier said than done, but we will see how that goes in the coming weeks. And here at the qualifying for the Rolex Paris Masters, Stefan won his first match against Arthur Fils. You can see he is the number 1 seed, facing the 7th seed here in the second round qualifying. That'll get him into the tournament against the 64th ranked player in the world, Dominic Kopfer. So certainly not going to be an easy match against the 30-year-old German. Let's see how Stefan does. Would obviously be a big victory for us to get into the main draw here in Paris. And we traded breaks in the first couple games of this first set, but now we are up a break on Kupfer and broke again. So a 6-2 win for Stefan as he tries to get into the main draw. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going. Do not enable him to get his head above water here, Stefan. It would be huge for you to get into the main draw. But we are down a break early here in the second set, unfortunately. Down a second break, so very different second set compared to the first. We won 6-2, and then we followed up with a 2-6 loss. So hopefully we can turn things around here in the third set. It's going to all come down to the details, Stefan. Let's see what you can do. And we are down another break early in this third set, so not a good start for Stefan. And we ended up getting routed a 6-2, 2-6, 2-6 loss here in the second round of qualifying for the Rolex Paris Masters for Stefan Kozlov. So definitely not an ideal result as we try to remain in the top 50 in the world as we get close to the end of this 2024 tennis season. And we have a few contracts with our staff coming up. Both of our physios, Pella and Havisto, as well as the trainer Visaya and the coach Every. Going to take a look at the staff page here and see how they both look. You know, the physios, Havisto is a 4 level, Pella is a 5 level. They're both solid. I think we'll bring both of them back. Visaya, in terms of training, is one that maybe we consider moving on from. You can see our other two trainers are both level 5. And then Every is a level 3 coach who has worked pretty well with Zach Spider based on the performance that he's had this season. Quite honestly, the person we may look to fire is our agent here, Clifton. We've had him on board for several years now, and Benjamin has never actually generated an actual contract, an updated racket or shoe or apparel contract for any of our players, which would be a big boost to our finances. It's been pretty disappointing the way that he has performed for us as an agent. Really has done nothing despite both Stefan this year and Maxime Cressy in previous years being in the top 50 in the world. So certainly not intending to renew him when his contract comes up, but we may actually fire him at the end of this season anyways, and hopefully bring on a better agent who's able to better find some contracts for our personnel. And we are nearing the final stages of the 2024 season. Stefan Kozlov, ranked 47th in the world, going to be at the 110 level Bratislava Open this week, and then the 125 level Houston Open next week to finish up his season. If he's able to win either of those events, we'll certainly end up in the top 50 in the world as of the end of the year. You know, you can see if he still has a semifinalist appearance in an 80 level event showing up in his rankings, as well as quarterfinal appearances in 125 level events in his rankings points. So if he's able to make it to the semifinals at either of the 125 or the 110 level events that he's playing, that will be a positive for him in that either actually these 25 points that he has from the 125 level events will fall out. So the goal for Stefan over the next couple of weeks is clearly to make it to the semifinals of at least one of those tournaments that he's playing, and hopefully if he does that, that will ensure that he can finish the year in the top 50. Zach back training more at the academy. His goal was only to get into the top 400 this year, and he's 120th in the world. So he can just keep working on preparing himself to hopefully come back even better in the 2025 season. So Stefan has won his first 2 matches here at the 110 level Bratislava Open. As we mentioned, getting into the semifinals probably is what we need to do to ensure he'll remain in the top 50. So we're going to play through his quarterfinal match here against the 16th seed Aslan Karatsev. Hopefully Stefan can get past the 31-year-old Russian and into the semifinals. We are already down a break here in this first set, so not a great start for Stefan Kozlov, unfortunately. We did break back, and looks like we're headed for a tiebreaker. Stefan hold on to win the tiebreaker, so a big comeback in the first set for Stefan Kozlov. Hopefully he can get through this match. He's not going to give up on you. Keep up the pressure. Stefan now is up an early break here in the second set. Hopefully he can keep powering through with his serve. And a 7-6, 6-4 victory for Stefan Koslov. So, as I mentioned, no guarantees with what's going on with other players, but just kind of looking at the numbers from a high level, I think that will be a big victory in terms of Stefan finishing the year in the top 50, getting into the semifinal of this 110 level event. Obviously, now that we're here in the semifinals, the goal is to win this match and hopefully move on to the finals. Facing the 9th seed now, Fabio Fagnini. Let's see what Stefan can do against the 133rd ranked player, the 37-year-old. So hopefully Stefan is a little stronger at this point in his career, given that he's about 12 or 13 years younger. So moving on to the big match against Fabio Fagnini. And we are on serve here early in the first set, but we were just broken. But we broke back. Looks like we could be headed to a tiebreaker, but no, Fagnini breaks us. So unfortunately, don't even get to the tiebreaker. Have to win the decisive points to win this match, Stefan. Let's hope he can bounce back here in the second set. And we are down a break again early in the second set here. So this could be, but we've broken back. And then we got broken. So a disappointing 5-4 loss for Stefan Koslov to Fabio Fagnini here in the semifinals at the Bratislava Open. So I think we've probably done enough to ensure a top 50 position in the world. Obviously, next week when we're playing in the 125 level Houston Open, another trip to the semifinals there would be really helpful for our rankings also. And as we get ready for what will likely be Stefan's last tournament of the year at the Houston Open, 45th in the world, hopefully can maintain that top 50 ranking. Zach Spider still back training at the academy. And we're going to make it interesting in terms of the ranking, as Stefan lost his first round match in the Houston Open. Disappointing result, end of the season for him. So it'll give us a little more time to train with him at the academy this week, but obviously would have hoped for a bit longer run in the tournament there, as we're trying to finish up the season in a strong way. But Chris Everett asking us questions at the press conference, definitely disappointing. I got nothing to add, Chris. Sorry. And it looks like even after the disappointing first round loss at the Houston Open, Stefan Kozlov still 45th in the world, Zach's 127th. Hopefully nothing too much changes over the final week of the season here, and Stefan can remain in the top 50, which will hopefully mean that he will be back to work with us again next season. So we are at the end of the season in terms of the review with James Barnes and the board of directors. So far we've kept all of our players. We have a balance above 0, recruited only the right kind of players, and did reach level 2 for the medical center. So we've completed all of our goals. They're delighted with our work. They're going to invest some more money in the academy next season. So hopefully that will allow us to upgrade our infrastructure when we get into the off season. And now a review of the minimum goals, looking at Zach Spider. Wanted to get to 400th in the world. We're about 127th. wanted to reach the semifinals. We actually won a couple of 80 level events with him, and he wanted to get into the top 56 in the U.S., which he achieved. So he is satisfied with our collaboration. He may wish to review the terms of his contract. We're going to keep him on the current contract for the time being. If he wants to come back and ask for a smaller contribution to the academy, he can do that, but we're not going to offer him initially any different conditions. And now Stefan Kozlov, where do we stand with him? Did get into the top 50 in the world. We're able to hang on to that, which was big. We did not get to the round of 32 in a Grand Slam. We did not get to the round of 16 in a Masters 1000 level event. We have reached the quarterfinals of a 250 level event, which is good. And we did get into the top 10 in the United States, so a 75% success rate. Let's see if getting into the top 50, even though we didn't meet the Grand Slam or Masters goals, means that Stefan wants to continue collaborating. He is deeply dissatisfied and does not want to continue. So that is disappointing. We will be looking for a new player for a second consecutive season. I think the collaboration that we've had with Stefan Koslov, getting him into the top 50, is a pretty good achievement, but apparently he really wanted to do better in the Grand Slam. As you remember, he was banged up in Wimbledon and ended up having to withdraw from his round of 64 match. He was tied in the fourth set, so certainly had a chance to get better. So for a second straight season, our top player is leaving the academy, so not an optimal finish to the year for the Old School Sports Tennis Academy. Definitely felt that getting Stefan into the top 50 in the world, given where he was when he joined us, with a 75% success rate, that he would want to continue collaborating with us, but it was not to be the case. So we will be finding a new player for a second consecutive season, which is a bit surprising when you look at you look at the results from Stefan and his ranking change. Was 382nd, 367th to 165th to 65th, and now to 45th in the world. I don't know exactly what he was hoping to achieve, but hopefully he can find that with somebody else, and he will have good success going forward. But we are going to move on with Zach Spider, and we'll be looking to recruit another player in the upcoming off-season. So it's going to be a busier off-season than anticipated for the Old School Sports Tennis Academy, and we will get to all of the details in our next episode. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and hope you have a great day.